So I thought I'd quickly just jump on here and sort my face out and get ready before I start work today. So I haven't got too many meetings today. I think I've maybe got 3 or 4. I work in data in product development or product in security services at one of the banks. And they're sort of re-architecting and reinvigorating all of their data architecture and infrastructure that they have, and I run that for 5 of the business lines. So I'm working with the team to hand that over at the minute. When you go out on maternity leave, if you are returning before and up to 6 months, your company has to offer you the same role back, I believe. So even though I've been gone for 6 months, when I come back, technically they'll still have to, give me same pay, same title, same job role essentially that I was doing before. I believe if you, or at least at the company that I'm at, if you come back after 6 months, they don't have to give you the same role, but it has to be equivalent. So again, same level of responsibility, same pay, same sort of area, etc. But they sort of discuss that with you as well. The other interesting thing that I thought people might want to know as well is obviously when do you tell work that you are pregnant? So I believe the company that I work at, you can tell them, I think earliest you can tell them, well really actually you don't have to tell them until really quite late. They do it in number of weeks before your expected week of birth. So I believe for me it was 25 weeks prior to your expected birth date, which was like, I think it's like 6-7 months, which I actually thought was really quite late. I personally told them when I was 3 months, just because I think I wanted to know about the maternity policy. I wanted to have a briefing with HR, but also just to share and discuss with my manager as well, so that we could make appropriate plans, and I could understand where I stood really, especially because when I'm going off, it's coming up to year end, which is performance reviews plus also bonus, and I go off just before all of that. The other interesting thing is I had my HR briefing as well, so they essentially just go through the entire maternity leave policy. I think some companies, obviously I think for us, they sort of have quite a generous maternity leave policy. So they do 6 months full pay, and then post that you just go on to the statutory maternity leave pay, and then your last few months, then I think it's last 16 weeks, I believe, in and around there, is unpaid leave. So during that whole period where you're getting paid, you still get contributions to pensions, you still get all your benefits from work, etc. Especially if you've elected for benefits, that still all comes out. Whereas when you suddenly go onto the unpaid, so if you take the full 52 weeks, the last few weeks obviously that are unpaid, then they stop all of your pension contributions, etc. And then when you return to work, you do need to advise them then that you want to split the contributions that you missed back over the period. Otherwise they'll try and take it all as a lump sum out of your first paycheck, which I did not know or realise. So that's just, I suppose, one to be aware of, just to understand what your company does or doesn't cover, and also I suppose as well, what makes you eligible for the maternity pay as well, because my partner has just changed jobs and he's still in probation period, so technically he doesn't qualify for their paternity. So yeah, that's just one to bear in mind. They've been giving him a week, because he did inform them when he was applying for the job. So yeah, he's got a week, which I'm not too worried about at the minute, because it's over sort of the Christmas period anyway, and it's generally quite quiet. And he works in sales, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just using this Hourglass palette, super handy, just because it has everything in it that I could possibly need in the mornings. I believe at the company that I work at, you had to be employed for a certain amount of period, but I think they do say it's at company discretion as to whether they offer you the enhanced maternity pay or not. So yeah, just one to be aware of, and I suppose to just know what you are or aren't essentially entitled to. Also, it's quite funny because when I had my HR briefing, I thought once I told them that they would want to speak to me straight away, and they were like, no, and this was maybe back in like June time, beginning of June time. They were like, no, we will only speak to you in November, and I was like, okay, but I'm expecting to go off on 1st of December, so I'd like to sort of understand. So I did request that they did my maternity briefing earlier, just so that I had time, because I'd read it, but I just wanted to make sure that I had clarity on everything that would or wouldn't be happening. The other thing I'm supposed to mention is also you accumulate all of your holidays. So you accumulate bank holidays and also all of your normal annual leave. So at the end of it, I think for me, I need manager's approval. But like, for example, if I want to go back after 6 months, because that's the end of my full-time pay, if I've accumulated, for example, like 30 days of annual leave, technically I could take that annual leave at the end of my maternity leave, and then I'm still getting paid, obviously, because it's paid holiday, and extend my maternity leave by a month if I wanted to. The other thing that you could consider too as well is the fact that you could essentially kind of do flexible working, because if you've accumulated like 30 to 40 days, you might say, actually, I want to take every Friday off, and then have more of a flexible working week. Obviously, all of that would need to be agreed, and it's kind of also at the discretion of your manager. But it's just other things to consider, like, for example, if you can't afford to just be on the unpaid or the statutory, because I think statutory maternity pay is like under minimum wage and it's £187 a week, which if you've got a mortgage, if you've got bills, rent, etc., obviously doesn't cover a lot. So yeah, just the sort of things to mention and consider. But yeah, so I'll just finish off my makeup and I'll show you the end result.